So in question one, remember the four-step process. You've read it already. And besides, we had an example of this in our notes. So what's the first thing we're going to write? What the variables are and what they stand for, right? And so, I mean, typically we're going to probably stick with contextually specifics. And so I'm going to let V equal what? Remember, you can't write vans. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice test, a concise way to write that. Students per van. I like that. It's a little shorter than what I came up with yesterday. It delivers what we need and it's short and to the point. The other variable we're going to use, and we talked about this yesterday, both Marcus and Mia had this, that you can capitalize letters. Like I'm comfortable using a B like that. If you're not, you can capitalize. You could use X and Y, as I said. So what is B going to stand for? Students per bus, right? So that's just never going to be something that I budge on. So um, just telling you that so you're just prepared to just always do that. Um, okay, so we've decided on our variables. We've told the world what they stand for. We know our mission, and now it's time for step two. What's step two? Write the equations. And generally you're going to find like there'll be an equation for each person or each school or each situation, whatever the case may be. So like in this case, just like we started yesterday, we have high school A. What can you tell me about high school A?
Leaving
So three vans, good job, plus
plus 11
11 buses for a total of,
equals 117.
yeah. Okay, and you don't need any labels or anything when you're writing a system, just FYI. So that's for high school A. What's high school B? 14 vans plus 7 buses. All right. So this clearly is not the type of system that we just want to go brute force and add them together. Adding them together won't do us a lick of good. And yesterday we got pretty lucky with 3 of our examples in a row where all we had to do was switch one of them by a negative. And we're not that lucky this time because we got to change numbers. So it's really a personal decision. Do you guys feel like getting rid of the V's or the B's? V's? Sure. And I don't expect every ninth grader to know what the least common multiple of 3 and 14 is. But as you know, like some of you know it's 42 and some of you don't, and that's okay. The trick is that if I don't know what their least common is, I just multiply them by each other, right? So let me show you the most common mistake people make, and then you tell me what I did wrong. I'm going to multiply the top equation by 14, and I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 3. One of them has to be a negative, right? Because I'm not going to make any progress if my V's are both 42s, because when you add them together, you get 84. So I'm going to pick one of them at random. I'm going to do the bottom one because I feel like it. And as long as you know, obviously don't want to multiply them both by a negative. That would be dumb. But now we got the old switcherooski. So now what we're going to do is we're going to reconstruct, and we're going to have some large numbers here. So we're definitely going to want to use our calculators.
You were trying to calculate.
Yeah, I let someone else use this last hour, so it wasn't in my normal spot. So as we go across the top equation and we multiply everything by 14, what's 14 times 3v? 42v. And then I'm going to keep it as a plus. And then what's 14 times 11b? Good job, 154b. And then this one's pretty intimidating. What's 14 times 317? Oh, so would you say that again? Okay. So there's equation number one. And I know that in third hour, I can't put words in their mouth, but I think part of their struggle was that they weren't prepared for the numbers to get so big. But I'll tell you what I told them, and that is don't be thinking you're doing something wrong. Just because numbers get big doesn't mean we're wrong. Okay, let's let the process go and trust in it. And now when we should panic is here in about 2 minutes when we get to the end and we try to divide and we get a decimal, then we should panic. But now let's just ride it. Ride the wave. What's this distribution going to give us? Yeah, minus 21b equals Yeah, and again, it's a negative large number, right? It's negative, so 1113. Okay, cool. So that's the preparation. And again, we're not scared. Big numbers don't mean anything other than that they were just necessary. Sometimes we need to multiply both equations, and if the numbers already start kind of big, they get bigger. That's how it works. But now I can put my line underneath it. I've reserved that for when I'm ready to go, but now I'm ready to go. And so when I add straight downwards, I get how many V's?
Zero B.
None. They cancel, right? That's the whole point.
Mhm.
How many B's do I get? I get 133 of them. Perfect. 154 minus 21 or plus negative, however you want to say that. And then what's 4438 minus 1113? Perfect. And again, now's the moment of truth where we would panic if what is about to happen doesn't work well. This is your moment of truth where, so if I type in 3325 and I divide it by 133, before I hit enter, I kind of like cross my fingers. And then when it comes out to something nice, then I kind of fist pump and say, yes, I did well. I got 25. And that's kind of what I'm expecting. The computer writes these. So in one problem, a bus might hold 25, and the next problem, a bus might hold 63. So like it's not so much about the substance of the answers, more just about the process that we're learning to do. We can still watch for dumb answers. Like if you got B equals 2, you'd probably think there's something wrong with that bus, you know?
What if it's like a tiny bus?
Right. Yeah. So
Like a bus who can run.
so now that we have B, what do we do? Plug it in someplace. And I generally probably would advise against these ones that you created because why use the ones with big numbers, right? You've heard this speech before. So I'm going to take B equals 25 and maybe I'll put it right there. Like you could, any equation's fine. A lot of you probably would have picked the top. And if you did, then just keep going on your merry way. It's always validating to see that if you pick the top and I pick the bottom, we're still going to get the same answer if neither of us messes up. That's the key. So that bottom equation now says 14b plus, and 7/4 makes a $1.75. So that's 175, right? We call that quarter math. Anytime you multiply by 25, just think about a pocket full of quarters and save you a little time. And then what do we do? Solve, like always. I mean, you've done this 1,000 times. We subtract 175 from both sides. And that gives us not quite 200, maybe 196, right? We're 4 short of 200. And then if we divide by 14, we should get V equals 14. And that's so it's interesting, like contrary to the example we did in our notes yesterday, this bus holds less than the other bus, and this van holds significantly more than the other van. So, but again, where I'd be concerned is if the van had like 53 kids and the bus held like 12. That just, but it is a computer, so we just have to go back and check and see if everything went. But these look good. Step 3 is done. Math over. Step 4, answer the dang question, right? Use a complete sentence. That's again not something that I don't want your input or how you feel about it. It's just what we do when we solve word problems. So we're going to say very simply, a bus can hold 25 students. You can write 2 sentences if you want. I just like to do the independent clauses or whatever. So comma, and a van can hold 14 students. I know from eavesdropping on the other class that it sounds like the numbers are sometimes pretty big on this assignment. So just stay the course, trust in your calculator. Don't where the calculator won't help you is if you do knucklehead stuff, like forget that a negative times a positive is a negative. Like that's where you're kind of on your own. I don't usually type negatives into my calculator. Like I just know going into it, division multiplication, if the answer is going to be one or the other, and then I just type in the dumb numbers and put the negative on if I need it. So that's up to you. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about with this? I don't mind if you want to work together a little bit, and team up as long as you're on task. I don't mind that a bit. These are good teamworky problems, but I also, if you want to just work alone, I understand that too. So, all right, I'm going to keep the recording alive but paused. And again, if you have questions, then I'll just record another one or whatever you got. So that's that.
I checked everything every time, but we did wrong.
So you have, I'm going to skip a step here. So I shouldn't skip steps if I'm on recording, but I don't really care. So you have P for the cost of a pecan
Yeah.
cheesecake. Okay, so one of your equations should say 8 pecans plus 9 strawberries
Equals 131.
equals 131.
Yeah, that's what I have.
And then your figured, and then your other equation is 10 pecans plus 7 strawberries is equal to 117.
Yeah, that's what I have.
So I'm just coming along for the ride here. I'll do exactly what you did. Which variable did you eliminate?
I did P.
Okay, so did you turn them both into 40s?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you multiply the top by? Okay, and what did you multiply the bottom by? Good. And that should have given you negative 40p.
Yeah.
Minus 45s equals negative
665. Is what my calculator got.
5 times what's 5 times 13? I think that's 65. So that would be 600 and negative 655.
Yeah.
I thought you said 665. Oh, okay. Do you have a 6 there?
Oh my gosh, I just wrote it wrong.
And then the bottom equation should be 40p plus 28s equals, I like 468. That's a good one. And then we're ready to add them together. And those p's are going to cross off. We're going to have negative 17 s's equal to negative 187, I think.
Sure.
And then if we divide, we get s equals 11.
Okay, I got it.
You're good from here? All right. So the strawberry cheesecake costs 11 bones. 11 bucks for the strawberry cheesecake? Uh-huh.
Cheesecake is so good. I never tried strawberry. It's really good. Is it?
Does that not seem like a good price for a strawberry cheesecake?
That's a really good price.
Freaking out.
Oh, well, let me figure out the cost of the pecan. I don't know what it is. I've never done this problem. You think it's $4? Boy, buy a couple of those and freeze them because that's a whale of a sale. Let's find out if you guys are cuckoo in the loco. Let's take 11. I'm going to take 11 and put it right there because I feel like it. So it's going to be 8p plus 99 equals 131, which means that 8p is equal to exactly 32. Yeah, I'd recommend you rush right out to the store and get you a couple extra pecan cheesecakes. They must be doing those on clearance. Like they must be getting close to their expiration date, and Walmart's like, hey, get rid of these pecan cheesecakes, knock them down to $4 a cheesecake.
My question is
Go scoop them up.
why is sugar cookie dough only $4 and gingerbread cookie dough is $10?
You would have to ask the computer program, and it would say something like, I can't talk, I'm a computer program.
You know what I think? It's because ginger cookie dough